All right. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening for ISLA and Archangel's first quarterly webinar. You have met Stephanie before if you joined us for our professional development week in the end of July, way back when we were just planning for the school year. So depending on when you started, it might feel like it just started, or it might feel like it's been forever. And when is Thanksgiving break coming up? If you don't mind, just put in the chat, where are you calling from and what is your, or joining from, what is your role at your school? Which school are you part of? So your school, and we see your names, alhamdulillah. So what's your school? Um, what role do you have at the school? And where is it located? So by way of introduction, I'm Shaza Khan. I'm the Executive Director of the Islamic Schools League of America, and I live in Austin, Texas, or right outside of it. And I'm going to have to get on a 101 with Stephanie at some other point, because whenever I go to share screen after I've shared it, it doesn't share, it pauses it. And then when I go to it after I've clicked share, it does this thing. So in the interim, what I end up doing is this. Well, I'll ask. Okay, let's see. Who do we have here? All right. We've got Iman Academy represented. Wa alaikum assalam Sabah in Houston, Texas. Amra is joining us from Everest, again in Texas. Awesome. ELA teacher, 7th and 8th grade. Kindergarten teacher, wonderful, Mona. Wonderful to have you here. Russia is joining us from Universal Academy of Florida. Thank you so much for joining, Russia, from in Tampa. Elementary Islamic Studies teacher, great. Awesome, Sister Saima. Wonderful to have you on from Nur Iman in New Jersey. MDQ Academy, Sabine, Jazakallah khair. And remember, you were part of our PDW. Iman, great, wonderful to see you. Iman, what do you do there at Iman? Iman teaching at Iman Academy. I love it. How ironic is that? You just spell your names differently. Aram from Everest Academy in Stafford. Where's Stafford, Aram? Is it outside of Dallas? Saba, wonderful to have you on. Thank you so much. Another Nurul Iman representative. Awesome. Or staff. Maha, Jazakallah khair. Wonderful to have you on teaching kindergarten. Iman, you teach Arabic. Wonderful. Jazakallah khair. Thank you guys so much. It's really wonderful to have you all on. So we are here gathered today to learn a little bit more about effective email communication. It might feel like, okay, I already know how to do all that, but obviously you guys are here because you know there's a little bit more art and science to this game. And how do we really get people to read our emails? And in addition to that, what if you've got like an angry parent, or even since we're all here kind of as educators, or in a what about an administrator? What if you have something you want to communicate to them? So there's basic communication skills, of course, that are incorporated into this as well. And there's another portion of this too, is just like, how do you even organize your inbox, right? So that you feel more on top of it with everything else going on in your life. So we're really excited to have this. Inshallah, for everybody joining live, we will be able, Stephanie, through our partnership with Archangel, will be able to provide continuing education credits and a certificate of participation. So thank you all so much for taking the time out. Really quickly, this is a partnership with the Islamic Schools League of America. We're a nonprofit that support full-time Islamic schools all over the US. So thank you all for being members, and you can thank your administrators if you find this beneficial for being members of the ISLA, and that might be how you learned more about this. Archangel is an organization that we're partnering with, which Stephanie leads the professional development of that company. Archangel is a leading supplier of quality technology to schools nationwide. And we have really benefited at the ISLA with this partnership by being able to provide you with Tech Tip Tuesdays. You'll see that once a month on Tuesdays. Stephanie is trying to provide so much value through this partnership, and we really, really appreciate it. You can read more about our partnership by scanning this blog post. If you're got your phone handy, you'd be able to join that, see that, and we'll post some links when we do our follow-up email. Okay. And about Stephanie, our, oops, Okay, I got this in there too. I'm sorry, Stephanie, you'll have to read for me. I know I've
No,
got it.
you can just click, yeah, if you just click us to the side of it.
Click to the side of it. I think that it
Mhm.
actually took it as a screenshot from this one.
Oh,
So I'll
okay,
read
there you
from
go.
this. So Stephanie is a highly accomplished educator. You guys are going to appreciate this because she's not just talking top down. She's been in the classroom. She has over 17 years of experience both in the classroom and school administration. Throughout her career, Stephanie has been at the forefront of educational innovation, introducing one-on-one Chromebooks into her classroom and spearheading the integration of technology across various subject areas. Her expertise lies in leading impactful professional development sessions that focus on seamlessly incorporating technology into cross-curricular units, all really like leading research-based, research-proven, and classroom practitioner-proven methodologies. Stephanie's presentations on project-based learning, classroom technology, and STREAM, science, technology, reading, engineering, and arts, and mathematics, and digital tools have garnered national recognition. As a Google certified trainer, she takes great pleasure in assisting educators and mastering best practices for integrating technology into their daily sessions, employing unique and creative approaches. And we don't want to miss out on the personal aspect of Stephanie. Stephanie is happily married to Michael and cherishes her role as a mother to 4 boys. Wow, what a household you must have.
Yeah,
Andrew, Jacob,
very busy.
and Oliver. I can just imagine that. A lot of fun, Stephanie, and a really genuinely caring and thoughtful person who, as you'll see through this presentation, is very willing to interact with you and take your questions. So lastly, I just want to share that ISLA does also host other professional development, and inshallah, you will be receiving that. Coming up is our leadership retreat in person, where we will be talking about addressing the realities of health and sex education in Islamic schools. So inshallah, we're really looking forward to this very important topic. And if you're an administrator, we're looking forward to having you join us at our monthly admin meetings. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to our dear friend Stephanie here. And I do see some more introductions that have come in the chat. Thank you so much, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining us, Elementary Principal Mona Sanat, Jazakallah khair, Tahmina, Maria, and Iram. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Stephanie, over to you.
Wonderful. I am so excited to be here. This is so wonderful. There are so many wonderful participants talking this evening. Again, thank you so much for joining. I know that for some of you, it is 6 o'clock, some of you it's 7 o'clock, and some of us here it's 8 o'clock. I am on the East Coast. I'm actually in Fort Mill, South Carolina. I just moved here recently from Washington, D.C. with my family to be much nearer to my family. And so I lived far away from them for a long time and happy to be living right down the road from my sister and my brother now. So very, very exciting times in the Horgan household. But I'm excited to be sharing with you this evening information about effective email communication. And when we talk about effective email communication, we're going to talk about what are some of our goals, what are some tips, and what are some tricks for getting through with those more difficult emails. And like Dr. Shaza said, it's very important that we effectively communicate our message clearly and concisely, while not while directly addressing whatever the topic might be. So we have a couple of goals for today. I want to talk about organization, labeling, filtering, and navigating your email inbox. I want to talk about writing, how we acquire the strategies for crafting compelling emails, and how we can captivate whatever your target audience may be, whether it's an administrator, someone you don't know, a colleague, a parent, or even a student. And we'll talk about very specific examples of how to compose those emails for those suitable audiences. So I want to start by letting you know that I am going to be sharing this presentation. So please don't worry if you're if you think, oh, I can't take notes fast enough, please don't worry about that. I am going to be sharing all of this information um, to you when we send out your certificate of participation as well. So when you registered, we do have your email information, so all of that information will come. Here are the goals that I just discussed. And so I want to start by talking about your email inbox. Now, when I was teaching, my maiden name is Parks, like Stephanie Parks-Sakar. And so I was Miss Parks for just 1 year before I got married. I got married after my first year of teaching, and I became Horgan. And my new last name weighed itself in with a great feature that I have and that I'm very proud of, which is organization. So I had a big poster in my classroom that said, "Get organized." And I thought, this is a sign I must have married the right man. So 17 years later, I'm still passing on those organization techniques. And so today we're going to apply it to our email. So I have created a demo email account. This is not my own personal email. This is a demo account that I want to take and share with you. So please know that my email inbox is much more full than this, as I'm sure yours is as well. And so I want to begin with taking a look at your inbox. I did send myself a test email here so that I can show you how we're going to file it and filter it. And that's really, really important. So let's take a look at why organization in your email is important. We don't, as educators, have a lot of free time. Unless you're one of those educators that sit with the box of bonbons eating while your students are working, which I have yet to meet a teacher that actually does that. You don't have a lot of time to spend on your computer. You don't have a lot of time to search through emails, to reply. And so when you are organized, it can really help you greatly improve your productivity and take advantage of the time that you have, as well as it helps you to stay on top of really important messages. And I find that the key to effective email organization is consistency and routine maintenance. That means deleting emails. There are some of my friends that I have met along the way that have thousands of emails in their inbox. And I'm going to tell you something today that although my inbox is very full, I do not actually have any emails in my direct inbox. All of my emails are filtered and they go to specific folders so that I know what's really important for me to get to right away and what is spam and what are junk messages. And some people are afraid of deleting emails, and that's okay. But we're going to be able to move past that today to really take advantage of the organization. So that routine maintenance is going to include deleting emails. Together we can do this. We can conquer the deleting emails. It's okay. So let's talk about some tips and tricks. I want to put this in slideshow mode. There we go. So using folders and labels. So if you do not have your email up right now and you want to pull your email up, I'm going to give you just a second to pull your email up so that we can work through these ideas and these concepts together, and you can practically apply what I'm talking about right now, so that if you do have questions, we can address those questions right away. So again, if you don't have your email up, take a moment and go ahead and open your email right now. Okay, so now that I've got mine up, I want to be able to take a look. You'll see, again, I did send myself just a test email so that we can talk about how to file and how to label and things like that. So we're going to talk about creating folders or labels to categorize your email. Okay, so I want you to take a look, and I did highlight this right here. It says labels. So if you go to your email, and it's Gmail, right here is where your labels are going to be. If you hover over the plus sign, that is how you're going to create a new label. And I want you to think of the labels as like a funnel system. Okay, so you're going to start very general, and then subfolders underneath of it can become more specific. So for example, let's say I want to, I'm going to say parent emails. Okay, I find it's really great to keep parent emails. Okay, you don't necessarily, unless it's like a real quick, I've got, a concern, or I've got a quick question about homework tonight. Those you can delete. But if it's anything of substance, you definitely want to keep it. For my students, I typically did not put the student's first name or last name in my email, but I would refer to them as numbers because they were in alphabetical order in my class. And so I would assign each student a number. And so that way it just kept privacy a little bit more as a top priority. You can do whatever you'd like. If you'd like to put the last name of the student, that's fine. For me, again, it was more important for me to keep the security so that parents or if anybody ever got into my email, they didn't necessarily know which student was which just by looking at my labels. So I have my top label as parent email. And let's say I've got 3 students in my class and I want to give them subfolders. So I'm going to, again, hit the same button that says label. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to do nest it under, and I'm going to put parent emails. So I'm going to give this a label of student 1, and I'm going to hit create. What you're going to see is that it creates a folder within a folder. Okay, so it starts very general and it gets more specific. So now what you can do is you can do student 2 under parent emails. So parent is going to be your top folder, and student 1 and student 2 are going to be your subfolders. And one more, I'm going to do student 3 here. And I'm going to nest it under parent emails, and I'm going to hit create. Now, this can get pretty long. But what's great about Gmail is you can shrink this by just hitting that button to the side. So when I'm filing emails, let's say I file emails once a week. Some people file them right away. Some people file them once a week. I would say don't go longer than once a week because then your inbox is going to get very full. But go ahead and file them once a week, and you can open it up and then just drag and drop an email into one of these folders. Okay. And then what I can do is I can close it so it doesn't keep going all the way down. I only open it when I need to find a particular student or when I am filing information. So if you would take a moment, I just want you to create a couple of labels for yourself. So take about 3 minutes and create at least 2 or 3 labels based on your emails. It could be administration emails. It can be parent emails. It can be personal emails. If you've received something personal, like maybe you bought a personal subscription to Teachers Pay Teachers. And that receipt, that information, you want to file it, you want to keep your personal purchase in there to be reimbursed at some time. You can put it, but create at least 2 or 3 labels in the next like 3 minutes. If you have questions, either drop it into the chat or feel free to unmute yourself and let me know.
So I have a question. My name is Sabine Ismail from MTQ Academy.
Hi.
I have a question. So when we are going to that tab, new label, please enter a new label name. So we are creating a folder here. We are writing down parents' email there and then clicking the box underneath, right?
If you want to create a subfolder underneath, so you have to create first what's called a parent label. So that's your top label. So that's the top of the funnel, the most general. And then if you're creating the subfolders underneath, that's when you hit nest.
Okay, and underneath it's giving me option of, oh, please select a parent or O1. I think that's the thing, right?
Yeah. So if you click like here, it's going to give you, you can save it under any of the parent labels that you've created. So you can choose any one that you'd like.
No, but it's not giving me any other options. It's just giving me O1.
Have you only created one parent label?
Yes.
So that's the reason why it's only going to give you that one option until you create more parent labels.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll have more to choose from.
Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Okay, it sounds like everybody's had some luck with this. I do want to show you, if we come back over here, you can sort these emails, like I said, by dragging and dropping. You can sort your labels by anything that you want. You can sort it by the content, you can sort it by the sender, you can sort it by the purpose. Meeting minutes, maybe you have, meeting minutes for parents, meeting minutes for faculty and staff, whatever you may have. Sort your labels however is going to make the most sense to you. But again, be general with your top label, your parent label, and then more specific as you go in and create those sub-labels. Again, the more clear you are, the easier it is going to be to find later. Another fun thing, if you're interested, I am a big color coder. So you can see my label here is red. I color coded it. So very easy to do. If you hover over it, don't click on anything, but if you just drag your mouse over top, you'll see the little snowmen right here. I call this my little snowman, the 3 dots on top of one another. Click that and come right up here to the top, and you can choose any color you want. You can even create a custom color. And so over here on the left is going to be your background color, and then your text color will come later. It doesn't really matter. If you look, I'm just going to choose purple, and maybe I want my text color to be white. So you'll see this is what it's going to look like, but the color of the label on the left is just going to appear purple. So there you go. So again, hover over it and choose a label color, and maybe I want to do green for my parent emails. And it's going to give you a choice when you have sub labels underneath of that parent label. Do you want only the top label to be a color, or do you want all of them to be a color? For me, I like all of them to be a color. I don't want to put 15 different colors underneath, because that doesn't, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I want all parent emails to be green. So I'm going to set my color, and you'll see as I drag, or as I come down over here, all of the subfolders are now green. So choose a couple of colors. Again, hover, don't click, hover over top of the label that you want to change. They appear like a grayish black right now. Hover over it, go to your little snowman here on the side and click all the way up to the top, label the color, and choose whatever color you'd like. I'm going to choose another custom color. I think I'm going to do pink this time, and I'll do black text on pink, and I'll just hit apply. And again, there's my pink. So you can label it whatever you'd like. I also did this in my Google Drive. I color code all my folders in Google Drive. And so that's a way that I also help students stay organized, is I color code folders, and I teach them how to color code folders in my classroom. Everything related to a certain subject is a certain color. I'll tell you a funny story as you guys are working on the colors. My children and I were having a discussion the other night. I was telling them that I was preparing for this, and I was talking about color coding. And my son said to me, "What color are the subjects?" And I said, "Well, for me, math is always one color. English is always one color. Spanish or foreign language is always a color. Social studies is a color. Science is a color, et cetera, et cetera." And so when I give students, when I put things in folders around my classroom, or I label things about certain subjects, it correlates. And so my son said, "I have colors for every subject, but I'm curious, what colors are your subjects?" And I said, "Well, for me, math is always going to be red." And he goes, "Yes, red. I don't know why. Math just always said red to me." And I said, "Okay, well, what about science?" And another one of my sons said, green. And I said, "Right, because to me, earthy colors made sense." And we found out that when we carried this discussion over, they took it to their classrooms and they were talking to their teachers about it. Teachers that color code often found that they have very specific feelings about certain subjects being certain colors. So for me, reading and English language arts was always blue, and social studies was always yellow. And my son was reversed. He felt like social studies was blue, and English language, ELA and reading was going to be yellow. But to each their own. I just thought it was really interesting. If you have that discussion with any of your colleagues, find out if they color code, do they have specific feelings about certain subjects being certain colors? It's really interesting. How does everybody feel about, just checking in, how does everybody feel about the color coding and the labeling? Is there anything that I can help with? Any questions? Okay, we're gonna keep moving on, So when you prioritize your emails, it's very important that you use the star button to highlight what's really important or what needs to be prioritized. But on the other side, you unsubscribe yourself from any promotional materials that you no longer want to be a part of. Sometimes it's really easy, like if you sign up for staples.com and they send you promotional materials, and you used a coupon one time and you put in your email, and now you get tons and tons of emails from Staples. Unsubscribe from those emails. I want to check the chat real quick. Unsubscribe from your emails. If you don't know how to unsubscribe, with most emails from large chains or marketers or things like that, scroll all the way to the bottom, and usually in a teeny tiny little font right at the bottom is a hyperlink with a button titled unsubscribe. And sometimes they want to know why you're leaving them or whatever. Just click unsubscribe. You know, you can put your reason as no longer interested, and unsubscribe, and that will stop your email inbox from getting full with random promotional materials that you may have or may not have signed up for. But when you start receiving emails from random things and you're not interested in it, unsubscribe from it right away. Don't save that email. Go down, unsubscribe right away, and then delete that email, because it's going to stop then and your email won't become more and more full. So we're going to hop right back up to prioritizing your emails. I have circled it in purple right here. Let's go back to our email inbox, and you'll see right below inbox is a button called starred. Starred is how you are going to prioritize things that you need to follow up on. Many, many, many people leave emails in their inbox that need to be addressed. And sometimes they'll even mark it as unread. And so then if you mark it as unread, it stays bolded and they know, oh, I have to do that. No. We want to, no. You have two choices. You can either add it to your task list and it's going to pop up over here and it's going to be added to the tasks, and you can leave this popped up. Or what I like to do is I like to come over here and hit the star button. And what this does is it adds it under here to starred. And that's where I go for my to-do list. Emails that I need to respond to is I star them so that I know I need to get to them. And once I get to them, I can unstar them, and then I can take them from my inbox and move them to one of my folders. So let me go through that again. I went through that, I felt like kind of fast, so I want to go back again. Over here in your email, you're going to have a list, okay? It's going to give you Google Keep. It's going to give you a task list. It's going to give you your contacts. And it's also going to give you any kind of add-on that you want to add to your email. You have a choice with your email. You can, depending on how you function, you can click add to tasks. And if you add it to your tasks, you can click the checkbox over here, and it's going to be added to your list of to-dos. And then once it's done, you hit the check mark and it automatically disappears from your to-do list. For me, it's out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see it, I don't remember that I need to do it. Especially with the 700 other things that we do as teachers / administrators. We know we have to do the paperwork. We know we have to, paperwork. We have to answer the emails. It's a part of our job. But it's not the most important part of our job. The most important part, of course, are the children sitting in front of us. But maintaining proper communication is going to be a really important part of our job in order to maintain those relationships. So the second thing you can do is just add this to your starred list. You have an option. You can do it from right here in your list. You can add it to the star. Or you can click over here and add it to the star there. So then when you click the first thing I do every morning is I go to my, before I even open any emails, I go to my starred list to see is there anything that I need to respond to right away. I can't see the right side for my email as you were showing. Okay. Do me a favor and click with just a test email, click on it and click the check button, add to tasks, and see if that pops up the right side of your panel. The other option is come right down here at the very, very bottom. There's an arrow and you can pop the side panel out. Does that help? Did you get it?
Yes, thank you
Oh,
so
good.
much.
Yay. Okay, wonderful. Oh, I love when I can problem solve. It makes me feel so good. Okay. So again, one of two things is going to work for you. Either adding it to a task list or starring it. For me, I know that my starred list is going to be the first thing that I look at in the morning before I even open my inbox. I'm going to go to my starred list and see, is there anything that I can take off the starred list and go ahead and file. And once I do that, I know that then I can go to my inbox and start on my new tasks for the day. Clicking on this, I just want to mention, if you don't know this already, you can click and drag and drop, or if you go into it, you can click here with the little file folder with the arrow and click down, and you can just choose where you want it to go. So let's say this is just an example text and I click it. My inbox is now empty. And I can go and I filed it here under my example text. If I accidentally put it there, it's okay. I can click it and I can move it right back to my inbox. So if you've ever think, oh my gosh, I moved it to this folder, now I'm going to have to remember it's in the folder. No, you can undo very quickly what you've done if you move it. All right, so let's take any questions.
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
If I go in on the sidebar under the inbox, I see promotions there, and sometimes we give out our emails to get some discounts and all that. So I have plenty of those extra emails in there, extra promotion that I don't need it anymore, which is a lot. So do I have to click page by page and delete that, or how does that work?
So you can, we're going to talk in just a moment about filters.
Okay.
And you can click all of them and delete them by the filter, or you can have certain emails go directly into your trash. But if you're looking at unsubscribing, you would have to go through each, not each email, but each sender. So if it's, let's say it's Staples and Office Depot and Teachers Pay Teachers, you would have to go to each particular sender and unsubscribe from their email list because they don't share email lists.
Okay, yeah, I got that. But if I want to like empty out my inbox by removing all these promotions, I wanted to get an easy way and quick way to get rid
So
of
let
that.
me click right here. This highlight all the ones you want to click. And once you highlight all of them, then you can move the ones that are highlighted. So highlight all of your promotional, click them, just click, 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 and then click to move to, and you can go down to your promotional or whatever file you want them to go to and click, and it will take all of them at one time. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, but I was looking for quick way to remove all of them, like to put it in trash or get rid of them.
Yep. So go through your emails and just click the ones from your inbox. Just click the button over here on the left. Click all the ones you want to select.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now you're going to go here, move to, and if you come down, go to trash. And you can drop them all in your trash all at once.
Uh, I have a question. I don't know if
Yes.
you can hear me. Yeah, for the star email that you talked about, like when you star some of the email, all those emails by the same sender will be under star,
No, only
or you have
particular
to do.
emails. Only the
So I have
certain
to do them
emails.
one by one. Okay.
Yes, you would star each particular email that you want to prioritize. So it does not automatically star, like if you have from your administrator, and you star one email with, to provide feedback, like a to-do thing you have to do. You star that one email, it will not star every email from your administrator. It will just star that one email. And so when you click your starred, it's
Only
just
this
that one
one.
email that you'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. And is the same thing apply to the Hotmail? Because
I don't have Hotmail,
Hotmail,
so I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's probably very similar.
yeah. Thank you.
All right. Oh yeah, of course. All right, so let's keep going. And I want to show you, I'm going to walk you through these directions, but again, I'm giving you this, a link to this presentation. So you will have these directions for yourself. I'm sorry? So these filters are how you set up the rules to categorize any incoming email. So for example, you can filter emails from specific senders and have them go to certain labels. So let's say you have parent emails, and what you can do is you can put the last name of the parent into these filters. You can add your class list of all the last names of your students, if the parent last name matches. You can add the last name of the parent, and it will automatically filter it into your parent folder. And then it will remain unopened. And so it will show you how many parent emails you have. But it automatically doesn't put it into the general email. It sends it directly to a certain folder. So what I've done is, I'm going to click here. I have given you step-by-step directions on how to create a filter in Gmail. So I'm going to show you one, but you are going to be able to do this. This is going to take time. So you're going to be able to have these directions to be able to walk through it at your own pace. And as always, I remain available to you. If you are like, I really want to do this, and I'm following your directions, but I have no idea what you're talking about, send me an email. I had 3 wonderful women from the last session in July who contacted me afterwards, and I had individual Zoom sessions with them to go through some concepts that they weren't clear on. So please email me and let me know that you need help with this, and I will absolutely be happy to go ahead and help you with that. I did have a request if I can share the directions. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead. Let me make sure my sharing settings are open. They were not. Oh boy. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this link, and I'll put it in the chat down here so that you guys can click on it if you'd like to have it right now. If not, that's okay. And it's going to force a copy so that you don't actually change anything. but feel free to go ahead and click on that and you'll have a copy. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So let's take a look at this. Filters are a great way to automatically organize, sort, label, or forward your incoming emails based on specific criteria. So here's how you can create filters in Gmail. Again, I'm going to walk through this with you, but it's going to take a little bit of time that you're going to need to create these filters. And so this is going to be something that we're not going to spend time on right now. But if you need help as you're going through it, just let me know and I'd be happy to help you. So you're going to first open your Gmail, and you're going to go to the top right and you're going to hit the settings button. Okay, so that's right here. The next thing that you're going to do after you have accessed your settings is you're going to go to filters and blocked addresses. So we're going to, again, take a look. And when you look in your settings, I just did see all settings right here, filters and blocked addresses. So I come back and I take a look again, and I create a new filter. So I want to scroll down and I'm going to click the create a new filter. And what this is going to do is it's going to open up how you want to filter. And so what I've done is I've given you all of the filter options. So when you look at this, all of these, I told you what each one of them does. So if you want to filter emails from a specific sender, so let's say I want to click any emails that come from Mrs. Horgan, okay? And I'm going to put, if it comes from this email, and you can see it gives you a comma so you can add multiple emails. You can filter just by that. You can filter if it's being sent to a specific recipient. If it has a specific keyword in the subject, you can filter it. You can filter it by if it doesn't have a subject line, you can filter it. If it has an attachment, you can filter it. Basically, anything you want to do, you can filter it. That's you can make it happen. So I'm going to click it, and so any email that comes from this email, I'm going to create a filter. And once I create the filter, it's going to give me a list of what I want it to do. So let's take a look. You'll see I have here, I put all the actions that you can choose from. I told you what each one of them do. So for me, I'm going to look, and that's a parent email. So I want to mark a parent email as probably something that is going to go to my parent inbox. So I'm going to choose a label, and I want it to go to my parent emails, the top one, not a specific email. If I want it to go to a specific one, I can get that detailed. For me, I'd rather put it all in parent emails and then file them as I answer them. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to apply it to that label, and I'm going to hit create filter. Once I do that, that's it. It's that easy. So I go back to my inbox, and from my phone here, I'm going to send myself a quick email. And so it's important that you test your email always. So I just hit send from my phone on a particular email. I'm going to refresh my inbox. Not yet. It hasn't come yet. Let me see who said something in the chat. Okay, good, good, good. No thanks. Oh. Okay, well, the Wi-Fi in my house is down. That's why that email did not go through. But it's that easy. So again, you want to, it probably will pop up here as soon as the internet comes back on. But you will receive a confirmation message saying that your filter has been created. And then it will filter all emails going forward in that same fashion. If you ever want to change it, let's say you're done with the class for the year and you're going to you want to keep this, but you want to archive it, so you just click and you can save whatever you need to save, or you can remove that label or change it, whatever you need to do. You can also go into your settings here, see all settings, filtered and blocked addresses, and you can see where my name is. I'm going to take it off and I'm going to delete that filter, and then it goes away. And then it goes away. Do I have to add all parents' email addresses so I can create a filter? Yes. Yes. But the great thing about this is that with Gmail, if you start, like for here, if you start typing a name, it will automatically populate. So then you can go ahead and just click. Like this is my husband, so I can click my husband and filter his email. I don't, just for good measure, I don't filter his email, but I could if I wanted to. And so once you do that, it's very easy, very clear, and it makes it really great so that you can keep organized. Keep organized. So all your emails will be filtered. So again, this is fairly easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time. So again, if you need help with it, let me know, and I'd be happy to hop on and help you in any way. So you can say, did somebody have a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, does this, like, if you filter one of the email, does that apply to the coming email or all
Yes, it
the
does.
email in your?
Depending on how you filter it, but if you put somebody any person that you want to put their name in, you don't have to, again, let's go back over here. You don't have to choose a name. You can choose a keyword. Oh, hold on. Everything froze. Woo. There we go. So I'm here in filtered and blocked addresses. If I create a new filter, you don't have to insert a name. You can filter it by have the word. So if I want to put sale, like a sale is on. Now be careful, because if you have a bake sale or something like that, but you can, if it has a word in it that you think is a promotional word, you can put that word in there and create the filter to go directly to your promotional inbox and create that filter. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a name, but once you create a filter, it will automatically filter it into your file that you choose until you delete that filter. So if you put an email address in there, it will automatically filter every single email into that folder until you delete the filter. And then also, if you have any kind of like spam emails or emails from somebody that's tried to spoof an administrator's email, you can block that address too, but we can get into that later. Make sure, as I said, you delete emails, commit to it. If you have answered it and you don't need it, delete it. Or if you really can't delete it, archive it. That means put it in a folder, put it in a label, so it's out of your inbox. But really take the time and determine, do I need to keep this? Or can I delete it? If you delete something and it goes in the trash, it stays there for 30 days and then it's permanently deleted. Aim to keep your inbox empty. It probably won't happen right away, especially if you're one of those people that has thousands of emails. It probably will not happen for you right away, but as you work through it, aim to keep your inbox empty. Regularly clean out your spam and your junk folders. If you go to here and click more, and you go to your spam folder, I'm not going to have any spam in there, but you can select all of the spam in your folder and delete them all. Get rid of them. Don't need it. And then again, like I said, avoid using your inbox as a to-do list. Use starred or use tasks. So let's move on to talking about crafting an effective email. 3 things that I want you to keep in mind: your audience, your purpose, and clarity. When you are speaking to your audience, understand who your email is to when you're composing the email. If you are addressing an administrator, a superintendent, somebody high up of great importance, know that that's who you're writing to. You're not going to start off with, "Hey, buddy." You're going to start with a proper greeting, an appropriate greeting. It is of paramount importance for effective communication to know your audience, know who you're speaking to. Then know the purpose of your email. If you are crafting an email and you want it to be engaging, you need to know the difference between capturing someone's attention in an email and having it go unnoticed in the inbox. A lot of times you can capture somebody's attention by having an effective subject line. So make sure that your purpose in your email is very clear, that you're not putting too many things in one email. How many of you don't have to raise your hand, how many of you have seen an email, you've opened the email and you got, whoop, too many words, close the email? I have. I opened an email, I'm like, woo, too many words, can't read that right now, and I close it right back up. So make sure that your purpose, if your purpose is to give a list of to-dos, then bullet point it. Make sure that it's not buried in paragraph upon paragraph upon paragraph. And again, with the clarity, you want to make sure that you are very clear in your messaging, that your subject line speaks to what the purpose of your email is. So you're not putting a subject line of December and then writing about events happening in October. That's a silly example, but it kind of makes my purpose clear. So let's talk about when you're writing to particular people, things to keep in mind. So when you are addressing an administrator, again, it doesn't necessarily have to be an administrator. It can be somebody of high importance that you consider of high importance that is, might be higher up on the hierarchy in your school than you are. You want to address them, first of all, in a very professional tone. You want to be respectful and professional throughout the email. You want to address them by their proper title. I had a situation where I had to speak to one of my teachers one time because she emailed the superintendent and started out with, "Hey, Jennifer," and no, we can't be doing that. We need to use the proper title. So we needed to use doctor and then her last name by addressing her by her proper title, because this is a professionally toned email. And by using that professional tone, you are maintaining respect and treating them with courtesy. Oftentimes, those who are higher up, administrators and such, get a lot of emails. We as teachers get a lot of emails, administrators get more emails. And so you want to make sure that you are clear and concise in your message, that you explain why you are contacting them. Why is your email important to them? If it requires data, that you've included the important data, and that you have clearly outlined any action that you need them to take. So if they need to respond in your call to action, you need to say, I look forward to your response, or thank you in advance for taking the time to respond to me. The last thing is please proofread your emails. I beg of you, please proofread your emails. Errors in communication, they reflect very, very poorly upon the writer, and in turn, other people that the writer is associated with. So make sure that you're looking at your grammar and spelling errors. And if you are not strong in that area, there's a great app called Grammarly. And we can install that app on your computer, and you can use Grammarly for email. But please proofread your emails. Make sure that you have stated what you need to state, and that it's clear and concise and respectful. When you are talking to a colleague, somebody that maybe is your teaching partner or somebody down the hall from you, that's a more friendly toned email. You're probably on a first name basis with them. And so your colleagues will appreciate that collaborative tone. And so you always want to start with a greeting, of course, and be respectful. But you're going to use a more casual tone. Again, use subject line clarity. It is so hard when you don't put a subject in. And Gmail is great because it literally will not let you send it. It says, are you sure you want to send this? You didn't put a subject line. And you go, oh, I didn't put a subject line. Go back and put a subject line pertaining to what the content of the email is. And don't waste their time with emails. I was in a school one time, and I was helping a teacher, and I happened to see that teachers were sending back and forth memes to one another. And if you don't know what a meme is, it's just basically a funny picture with usually a quote. And they were just sending memes back and forth. That's not professional, and it's not respectful of the time of your colleagues, because they're taking the time to then open an email, look through it, find out this is just funny and it doesn't have anything to do with me. So make sure that you are being respectful of time and that your email serves a purpose. And then provide context. If your email refers to a certain project or a meeting, make sure that they have the background that they need, that they're not coming in partway through an email chain, that they know what the background is. And then when appropriate, ask for or invite their feedback. It shows that you emphasize the value of their expertise, and you want something in return from them. You value their input. And so making sure that your emails to your colleagues are still in a professional and respectful tone. It goes a long way towards showing the courtesy and that you value them as a profession. Making sure you say things like good morning or good afternoon or good evening, and putting a salutation at the end, you know, good day, thank you so much, respectfully, something like that. And before you sign your name, even if it is to a colleague. I'm going to skip the next one and I'm going to go to students. When you are communicating with students via email, number one, I always, as a best practice, copy a parent on an email that I send to a student. It's vital. Making sure that you are communicating in a respectful tone and using a student's name, using a friendly closing, and not being demeaning in any way. And you can do that by using very simple, clear, and straightforward language and communication. And then, of course, inviting them to get back to you, ask questions if they need clarification. I want to wrap up by going real quick with parents and guardians. When you have a difficult email, we have all had them. But it's very important to maintain the utmost respect when addressing a parent. You, as a common courtesy, have 24 hours to respond to an email. You do not have to answer an email right away, especially if it is a impassioned email. Sometimes the best answer to an email is letting time pass. And that's hard because as teachers, we're fixers. We want to fix the situation. We want to make it better. Sometimes you need to let time pass. And so if it is 11 o'clock at night and you check your email and you have an upset parent, do not respond to them at 11 o'clock at night. Let it sit. Respond to it at lunch the next day. Making sure that you still begin with a friendly and welcoming tone, thanking them for their feedback, even if it was rude, even if it is not the feedback you wanted. Starting by thanking them for taking the time to provide feedback is going to go a long way towards smoothing any upset between a parent and a teacher. Making sure that you use a technique that we call a sandwich. Start with a positive, address what needs to be addressed, whatever the concern is, and wrap it up with a positive. For example, I am really in admiration of Isaac's attempt to make new friends. I would like to see him using his words rather than his hands to play with friends. However, I know that this has been a challenge for him, and I really am proud of his efforts. Sandwich it. Parents see the first one, see the second one, and then end on a positive note. Always make sure that you are accessible. So provide your contact information, invite them to partner back with you, because that's what they are. I always say to parents, we are team your child, you and me. We are team, my son is Isaac. We are team Isaac. So you want what's best for Isaac. I want what's best for Isaac. And the best piece of advice that a mentor teacher ever gave me was to keep in mind that at the end of the day, parents are giving you their greatest gift. That's their most precious treasure. Whatever child comes into your classroom, that is the best that that parent has to offer. And receiving that gift and keeping in mind that this is a child and they are formed mind, body, and spirit by you, at all times really, really, really helps to address any concerns. I know that, agreed, don't check your email at 11 p.m. Just don't do it. Is there a way we can tell if the email we sent was read? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to check. I'll check on that. I'll give Dr. Shaz a response to that, and we'll include it in your feedback. So my friends, I know again that I went a little bit over. I apologize for that. I feel like we had a very good discussion. When I send this out, if you would be kind enough to click to provide any feedback for me, this is my email. I would be happy, happy, happy to receive any feedback that you have. I'm constantly working to improve myself, constantly working to improve my sessions. So if you have feedback for me, please, please let me know. And again, if you have ideas for sessions that you would like to see in the future, like if you want me to go over whatever topic, and you have ideas, drop them into the chat before you leave, because Dr. Shaza and I together, we read that information and we take that into consideration as we're planning. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend the evening with you. Thank you so much. And again, please let me know. I'll go ahead and just, for whoever would like it real quick, I'll drop the slides into the chat. And you can have a copy now. We'll also provide a copy back to you. But thank you so much. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Stephanie, thank you so much. Like, the tips on communication are just so beautiful. And for our Muslim educators who've joined us, like, they are so aligned with the etiquette that we're supposed to have, inshallah, in dealing with our parents, even our students, that respect. And sometimes it is helpful to hear that reminder that, like, you don't have to respond right away. Thank you all so much for joining us. Stephanie, this was just so beautiful. I look forward to coming back to some of the things. It's saying that they need access to the document. And I also
My
have
apologies.
I have a poll I've launched. I think you guys might see here. We want your feedback on what topics you'd like to see in the next webinar that we host with Stephanie. We don't have the actual date set yet, but most likely we might keep it to this time. You can always email me back and tell me, you know, if this time was hard. I know that Maghrib came in for many of us in the Central and West Coast during the thing. So, you know, inshallah, we can, when it's in the next time, what, Stephanie, we're looking at another 3 months, right? So this
Yes.
is almost October, November, December might be hard. So maybe we would do like January.
January. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll try and keep it at a time that works for you all.
It also is open. The link is open now. My apologies.
Okay.
So you can click on the link. I'll put it in here one more time for the slideshow presentation, and you can click on it. It's open now. So thank you for the feedback. Engaging students with technology.
That's got the most votes. Anybody else want to vote here? We've got 12 people out of 39 who voted. And Stephanie, what's the method of you determining who was here for the continuing education credits? We want to make sure that, you know, those who attended.
We'll go based on the registration list.
Okay.
I can be in contact with the administrative assistant and make sure that we have that registration list, and then I have the capture of everyone who showed up. So
okay, great. You do have that. Okay,
yes,
great.
I have
Perfect.
the capture of everyone that showed up.
Okay, thank you so much. So, all right, so here we go. I'm going to close the poll in another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, thank you, Maria from UAF. So I think if I press end poll and share results, you'll see here that we've got many people saying how to engage students with technology in the classroom, and then integrating STEM in your classroom, great. AI in your classroom. So there's a lot of really, and I didn't see what the two people who wrote other, what is that? You know, we'd be interested to know. But thank you guys so much again for joining us on this evening. We'll close off then. We ask Allah to accept from all of us and to bless all of us who've joined here, including Stephanie and her family and her whole team back there, whoever is part of that family and that big team, and the Archangel family that's partnered with ISLA as well. We really appreciate everyone, and to all of you teachers who are doing the hard work of showing up every day, and the principals and admin who've joined us. Thank you so much for everything you do. And as you can hear, I've got my almost 7-year-old who's ready to be going to bed too. So thank you all so much. Take care. Assalamu
Take care.
alaikum.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye, Stephanie. Thank you.